Hello and welcome to another 31 Days of Horror Toronto After Dark edition. Today we are talking about what I believe was the theatrical premiere of a film which is coming to theaters beginning of November. So by the time you see this, as much as I would love to get this video out to you, it's not going to happen. You'll have seen the movie and our opinions won't count. So
they don't count anyway.
They don't count anyway, that's right. And I will be upfront with you. Not that it's going to sway our opinions of the film whatsoever, but we did get some swag. Like I said, theatrical premiere means swag. What did we get? Well, we got some posters. Yeah, I think these are from Mondo.
It's a good paper, though.
Yeah, this is high quality. Yeah, distributed by the Mondo Ministry of Information.
It's nice.
Yeah, so Mondo. If you're into Mondo stuff, they'll be available after the video if you want to buy them. We also got these pens.
They're not pens. They're syringes.
No, syringes. Blue and red.
You know.
I don't think the inks are blue and red.
Oh, we didn't even check that.
Whatever. And then
I don't know.
whatever the hell these things are. We should open one up, shouldn't we?
Open yours.
Oh.
I don't want mine to go down in value.
I'm going to use my pen to open it up. There we go. Oh, pen's made in China. In case that means anything to you. Alright. What was the third thing of swag? I'm going to guess by the size Band-Aids. Band-Aids. Oh. Ha-ha!
But are they plain Band-Aids?
They may be plain Band-Aids.
Because then it's kind of silly.
They don't look like they're stuck in here. They just look like plain Band-Aids.
Well, that sucks. They should have been printed with something.
Yeah, I expected like some Scooby-Doo Band-Aids or He-Man Band-Aids or something.
It's a good idea, though, you know, considering that the movie.
Yeah, it does make sense. Alright. Swag.
I like that.
Okay. Alright. So... Overlord.
Overhyped.
Yes, Christian, one of the programmers, was very big on this film. This was his baby. If you'll use it, I think that fits quite well with the way he treated this film. He was hyping it up like crazy. And admittedly, this is going to theaters, so you know it's going to be slick. You know it's got a budget. I believe it was produced by Eli Roth. So he was involved in it. I think that's why it got so much attention. But yeah. Well, let's get Leslie's review right out of the way.
It's not horror.
Yeah.
That should be on
this is squeaking in like barely as the horror. Okay, synopsis of the film. It's in World War II. There's a group of soldiers. It's the air raid, I guess, D-Day. Air raid going in. These guys are supposed to drop in to behind enemy lines and take out a radio tower or a radar tower or something like that in order for the Allied Air Force to be able to essentially support, the ground invasion, right? So if they don't take out this mucho important tower, the airplanes aren't going to survive. They'll all get shot down and the Allies lose the war. So, yeah. This is where Leslie's review comes into play.
I will say this. I didn't want to see it because it's a war movie. and I don't like that. That's not my thing.
No.
But it was not a horrible movie. It's just, it shouldn't have been there for me to watch in the first place. I shouldn't have had to sit through that. But it was not a horrible movie. It just...
But you didn't enjoy it because...
Because why?
It was essentially just a war movie.
Yes.
Which, that's
And I
not
know
cup of
what
tea.
they were going for, the parts, why they would consider it still horror and stuff, and some stuff was okay. But overall, it was too overrated for me, and it was boring, so... meh.
Yeah. So if you know anything about like the Wolfenstein games, the Return to Castle Wolfenstein stuff, where it takes place in World War II and you fight Nazis and stuff, and then eventually you get to Nazi biological experiments and fighting crazy demons and zombies and stuff. This is kind of what they were going for, but I'll put horror in quotation elements only happened at the very, very, very end climax of the film. And all the way up to that, it is almost purely, strictly a war film. There are a couple of moments where they kind of try and do a little bit of scare, a little bit of a jump scare, a little bit of, oh my god, this is a little gross and stuff like that. But for the most part, it is straight up war. It's a straight up World War II action flick.
And I think for that, if that's what it was just being sold under, if you like those kind of movies, then you'd probably like this.
Yes, it'd be way up there. Like honestly, it'd be really, really good. Because that was like, especially even the opening sequence when they're in the plane and getting,
that was...
all it's all CG and stuff like that. But essentially, it's all the anti-aircraft fire going off and everybody's like, planes are going down and all that kind of stuff is happening. And that was like, that scene was amazing. But yeah, and then you get behind the lines and essentially it turns into your standard war flick. It's nothing really going on, and then you get to the end climax where they're in the evil bunker and you find out what the experiments are. And even then, it's still a lot more action than horror. But there are horror elements. So this is why I'm saying this is squeaking in there. I am finding it hard to call Overlord a horror film. Really hard. But if you go to IMDb, it's action, adventure, horror. So, horror is something that they are trying to sell this film on. The film is directed by a guy named Julius Avery. You don't know who the heck he is because he's not done nothing much of anything. But in the film, we get a few people who are in the film that I kind of recognize. I don't know what from though. One is the kind of like the leader of the Allied group, played by Wyatt Russell, and I know I've seen him in films. I don't know if they were recent or they were older. Because according to IMDb, he was in Escape from LA and Soldier, but the dude would have been a kid, so that's not what I'm recognizing him from. Cowboys and Aliens, he would have been young. We Are What We Are, Deputy Anders, which also played at Toronto After Dark. That I would have seen him in. 22 Jump Street. Okay, there you go. There you go. That's probably where I recognized him from. And Black Mirror. Huh. So that's where I mean he has a few other movies and stuff. Nothing crazy. I don't think he's had any amazing roles or anything like that, but he's definitely been out there. The main character of the film is played by Jovan Adepo. I didn't recognize him from anything, and looking at him on IMDb, he's not done anything. So, yeah, the only other person was... what was the bad guy?
Like I'm going to remember his name.
Shoot. Ford. Is that him? I don't know.
He looks bad.
He looks kind of bad. We'll see if it's him, but I don't know. The guy who played the evil head Nazi guy was definitely somebody who I thought I recognized. Possibly from Game of Thrones, if that's who it was. Maybe that's where I recognized him from. The Great Wall. Okay, so he's been in a bunch of stuff.
A lot of war stuff.
Yeah, a lot of action-y type things. And I would say, you know what? I would say generally all around the acting was good. I didn't find anybody to be overacting or underacting. They all seemed, considering the subject matter for the most part, played the parts pretty well. Yeah. Honestly, I give Overlord a recommend. But I give it a recommend on the sense that you're going into it for an action war film with some dark elements. If you're going into it looking for a horror film, you are going to be very disappointed. It's like you almost think, considering it was at Toronto After Dark, I was almost going with how many zombie Nazi films are out there, right? Like, there's tons of them. That's almost what I thought where it was going. I thought, okay, it's going to have your war stuff, and then eventually it's going to be zombies or something like that. Or, but yeah, it didn't quite play out that way. And so, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't quite what I expected. Considering where we were watching it and the fact that it was hyped up so much. But yeah, it's not the film that you're getting into October and the 31 Days of Horror and you go, hey, have you seen this horror film?
Because I think we had even seen the trailer like from in a regular movie or something.
Maybe. And
so then when I realized, oh wait, this is that movie, I was confused because I'm like, really?
Yeah, because going by memory, I don't believe that the trailer really gives any hint to horror. It's more playing up the action elements of the movie.
That's why I was like, oh great.
So yeah, I mean, and this is the thing, right? Like you look at this poster, right, and you get the Nazi thing, but then you get this sort of like zombie face thing going on, right? Mm. Right, like it kind of has this zombie look. So you almost think it's going to be another German Nazi zombie World War II film, but it's not zombies. And I will let you, if you haven't seen the film yet, by the time you see this, find out exactly what the experiments are and how they play out. I will just, both of us, we're going to say, film is okay. It's not Leslie's cup of tea, obviously, because it is a war film.
However, I didn't find myself like falling asleep at it or something. It was watchable.
Well, yes, the film itself is well made. It's well made, and because there's action and stuff going along, you shouldn't generally be falling asleep for the most
No,
part.
but I don't go for that. But there was elements in it that made it interesting to me.
Yeah.
Too.
So, yeah. What star rating? If you had to give it a star rating. Now your star ratings are based off of how much you enjoyed the film, so.
I can only do it ignoring the fact that it's not horror because oh god, see, because it wasn't a bad movie, it's just not something I would choose. God, I have 2.5 out of 5, I don't know.
Really?
2, 3, 2.
Wow, you're pushing that higher than I thought you would have.
Because it wasn't a bad movie, it's just not, I wouldn't.
But this is the thing, your reviews are always about how much you liked it.
2.5.
2.5. Okay. I'm gonna see. This is the problem. That whole idea of thinking that it's supposed to be a horror movie and it not getting a horror movie, kind of plays off of how you feel about the film, right? Because it's like I'm thinking it's almost like a 3.5 film. It's well done. It's enjoyable. I would watch it again. No, you wouldn't. But at the same time, I'm like I feel let down. Like so I can't go to 4. Like it's like I want to go to 4, but you're not a 4 because I was let down and you aren't really 4 caliber, but yeah, I'll say 3.5 for me out of 5. Again, like I said, I would recommend it with a disclaimer, because you don't want to go into it thinking the way I guess I you were thinking the same way, right? Like it had to have been a horror movie.
I didn't see how. I just figured it's going to be very warish, but maybe we didn't see that in the trailer. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
Especially because this was the closing movie? Was this the closing movie? No, I thought it was. The opening movie? I don't know. It was an important one. Like it was it wasn't during the. I don't know. It should have been horror. There we go.
Yes, it should have been more horror. You heard it here first, folks, or maybe second. I don't know how many videos have been made about this movie already. By the time you see this, so, anyways, I know you've seen Overlord, so comment down below. What did you think of the film? Keep it spoiler free as much as possible. But yeah, did you go into it knowing it more than we did? Did you go into it knowing it was essentially an action film? Comment down below. We love to hear from you. More 31 Days of Horror coming up. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Till next video, take care. Have a good one.